Hi everyone, today in this video we are going to understand what is a string in Java and how we can create a string in Java, what are the different ways we can create a string and what are the methods available in string class, and we are going to see how we can create a string object which is immutable, how we can compare two different string object and concatenate those, and how we can use the string builder and some other string formatting ways we can use in string. Apart from that, we are going to explore some useful tricks that you can use which will ease your Java development if you know all those tricks. So we are going to cover all this in this video. So before we go ahead, first we need to know what is a string in Java. So string is a sequence of characters like words or sequences. And next, like in Java, strings are object, not primitive data types. So primitive data types are types like we have int, byte, short, boolean. These are some primitive data types, and string is a different data type and that does not belong to the primitive data types. So strings are basically objects in Java. So before we go ahead and create our first string and compare different string object, so please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Now let us see how we can create a string in Java. So this is the simple Java class with name string example, and this is the main method. Now to create our first string, we need to write the code like this one. So this is the string data type, and greeting is a variable which will hold the sequence of characters, and we consider the sequence of character as a string in Java. So this is how we can create a string in Java. But is this the only way we can create a string in Java? No, we have two different ways we can create a string in Java. So these are two different ways we can create a string in Java. So this is the general way we can create a string in Java, and we consider this approach as creating a string literal, because in memory we have a separate provision to store the string literal in Java, like we call it as a string pool. So all the string literals will go inside a string pool. Once we have created a unique sequence of characters, for example, once we have created an object for this hello primitive inside a string pool, then how many references we create for the same object, it will only have one object inside this string pool. So it will not allow duplicates, it will contain only one string for this hello. Whereas whenever we use the new keyword and create a string, then it will, every time we use it, it will create a new object, and that object will get stored inside heap. However, this string pool is again inside a heap. The only difference is that this string literal will get created inside a string pool which is inside a heap, whereas this string will get created outside of the string pool. So although both are inside a heap, the only difference, this string will get created inside a string pool, whereas this string will get created outside of string pool. So this is the only difference for string pool and the object which we create using the new keyword. Now let us see how we can compare this. Like we can create one more string with b reference variable pointing to the same string literal like hello. Now if we want to print something like, let's say, now let us compare the things like we have a variable pointing to the string literal and the b variable pointing to the same string literal. Now it should print true. So let us see what it will print, and then we can discuss on this one. Whereas we are comparing a is equal to c and whether a equals c. So you can see now these two, a and b, is pointing to the same sequence of characters, whereas c is pointing to some different string, although the content is same. Let us see how it will print. Now we can run this using run as Java, and it is showing for first it is showing true, for second it is showing false, and for third it is showing true. So why it is showing true for the first one? Because a and b though these are two different variables, but those are pointing to the same string literal, which is inside a string pool. So that's why it is saying true. Next, like A is double equal to C, it is showing false, because this string object is inside a string pool, whereas with the new keyword it has created one more new object inside a heap. So that's why these two are pointing to the different objects. That's why it is showing the false. Now for this A equals C, so here although these two objects are pointing to different object, but it will check whether the content is same inside these two. That's why the content is same. That's why it is showing true for the third statement. Now let us see how we can create an string which is an immutable. So we call string as an immutable because once we create any string, that cannot be changed. So for example, we have created string s is equal to Java, and if we try to concatenate this original string with some concatenating with some other word, so this original string will not get changed, and if we try to print it, it will show only the original string. So let us run it and check what it will show. We need to save this one. Now we can see this is the original string, and although we have appended it with some concatenated with some word, so it should have shown the Java word, but it is showing Java. Why? Because this original string will not get changed, though we are calling the concatenate. So that is why we call it string as an immutable, because once we create it, that will not get changed. If we want to do concatenation for this one, then we need to do it with some different way. Like we need to create some string variable, another variable, and which will hold this concatenation, and finally it will print the actual concatenation result, which will show Java word like this one. Now if we try to print M, it should show Java word. Now it is showing Java word. But the point is that once we create any string, that will be immutable. We cannot modify that or concatenate it with the original string. This object will remain as is in memory. That's why we call it a string as a immutable. Now if we want to change the original string by appending some new string with that, so what is the provision in that in Java? Like what is the best way we can do that? Like we can go for the StringBuilder class, which is available in Java. It will help us to build or change our string many times. For example, once we create our original string, then we can use the append method which is available on the StringBuilder, and we can append any word any number of times. Like for example, initially we have created hello, and next we have created word. So let us take something. Okay, so hello and word, and once we append this, it should show along with the appended string like hello word. So let us check. We need to save it, and we can run this program and check. Seems good. It is showing hello word. So this way, if our requirement is like we want to append the original string number of times, or by appending number of word or sequence of characters, then it is always better to go for StringBuilder or string buffer. Next we can see the string formatting. How, if we want to do some formatting with the string, how we can achieve that. Like for example, this is the name and this is the int age variable. Now we want to prepare some message using this name and age. Now we can use this format method which is available inside a string. What it will do, like it will allow us to form a string like this one, wherein we can use the placeholders for the arguments, and we can pass the actual argument at here. Now the first name will get replaced by this first placeholder. At the place of first placeholder we can add this name, and at the place of second placeholder we can add the age. Likewise, it will prepare a string for us, and it is possible with the help of this format method. Let us save it and run it and check how it will print. Okay, so there is one extra bracket we have added. We can remove that. Yes. Now seems good. It is printing Raju is 30 years old. So in this name is at this the first placeholder where the name is added, and this is the age is added at the second placeholder. So with that it has formed a complete string, and finally we have printed this string. So this is how we can make use of this format method for string formatting. Now let me tell you some useful tricks you can use while working with the string in Java. For example, we have created this str string, so it will hold Java simplified sequence of characters. Now if we want to check is empty, we can use this is empty method, which will be true if the length is equal to 0. If we want to check whether it is a blank, then we can check if it is empty or only a white space it contains, then it will be true. Next, like we can check for trim, like it will remove leading or trailing spaces. We can use the replace method just to replace the source with the destination, like replace all occurrences of A with O. Here is another thing, like this is the words and Java is a fun. If we split the space, so it will create the word array. It will hold each word as a string index. Like for first string, Java is the first element in the array, is the second, and fun is the third one. And we can use the join. So with this, like this is the character, with that this string sequence will get joined. For example, these are 3 strings will get joined with this hyphen. So this is how we can make use of Java methods which are available in string class, and these are some useful tricks we can make use of. And now we can see what all other methods available in string class that we can make use of, and these are some different methods we can make use of, and what it does, it will show in this column. Like for example, length is a method which is available in string class. It will give how many characters are there inside that and how we can use that. Like this is the example, java.length is equal to 4, it will print. This is how we can make use of all these, like charAt, uppercase, lowercase, and all these other methods. And these are some examples how we can use these methods. So I hope you must have enjoyed this. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching this.